But today we're going to be talking about credit. We're going to be talking about personal credit and business credit. So I want you guys to go to www.finlitsignup.com. Again, that's www.finlitsignup.com. When you go to that site, or when you click this QR code here, or when you scan this QR code, you're going to be taken directly to have 5 simple steps to improve your credit. So you're going to go to www.finlitsignup.com. So right now we're going to talk about credit. I want to know how you feel when you think about your credit score. Are you embarrassed? Are you ashamed? Do you feel defeated? Do you feel disappointed? I don't want you to have any of those negative sentiments. Credit is not something that most people learn in school. We learn about parabolas, we learn about, algebra, but we never learn taxes, financial literacy, credit. Most people don't know the 5 categories of credit and exactly how many points each category is worth, and therefore they don't have the scores that they need to have. But I'm going to walk you guys through all that stuff so you understand clearly exactly what makes up your score. Credit is not random. Credit seems like it's random. It's literally a reflection of how you're doing in 5 different categories. So there's a range from a 300 to an 850. Therefore, that's 550 points as the range, right? So you definitely have to make sure that you are paying on time every time. I'm going to tell you exactly what makes up your score. Again, the minimum is a 300, the maximum is a 850. That's 550 points. So it's going to be category wise. I'll take you guys through the exact categories now. 35% of your grade is your payment history. It's very, very important. Everything, again, seems like it's random. So if we have 550 points, 35% of 550 is 192.5 points. So these numbers will seem a little odd. I'm not making them up. 550 points is the range. 35% of that is how often you're paying on time. That is 192.5 points. So you must pay on time every time in this category. Anything less than 97% payment history on time is considered bad. And one late payment on one account in a year takes you below that 97%. So you have to pay on time every time. There's no margin for error in the payment history category of credit. And again, this category is worth 35% of your score. Therefore, it's 192.5 points. If you miss one payment on one account in 1 year, you would have paid 11 out of 12 months on time. When you divide 11 by 12, that's a little less than 92%. So there's no margin of error. Again, in that category, you would lose most of that 192.5 points. The next category is going to be your utilization, how much you're using out of what's given. On the personal side, we can't use more than 30% of what's given. When we get a business credit card, we can use the entire amount of what's given. So we have to make sure that we are building a good personal credit profile, and then we get business credit, which we can fully utilize and get rewards and benefits for. But on the personal side, we have to be very minimal about how much we're using. I like to say that using personal credit is kind of like using a Ferrari in a parking lot. You can't go too far. You can't go too fast. On a personal card, I recommend that you use 1 to 5% of your utilization. That is the best you can do for your score. The next best thing you can do is be under 30%. Once you start going over 30%, you start losing that percentage of your score, which is 30% of your score. Therefore, it's 165 points. It is a very, very big chunk. Now, most people that want to fix their credit work on the first 2 areas. They say, let me pay all my bills on time. They say, let me not use too much out of what's given, but it cannot end there, right? Credit is going to be not just those 2 categories. Those 2 categories are only 65% of your score, 30% for utilization, 35% for payment history. That's 192.5 points and 165 points. Another big chunk is in another area of credit called average age of credit, which is 15% of your score, or 82.5 points, which is a very, very big chunk of your score. And that's going to be your average age of credit. They need to know that you have a track record of maintaining credit well over time, right? So they need to know that you have credit for over 4 to 5 years. Anything less than 4 years is considered fair. Anything less than 2 years is considered poor. So they want you to have a good average age of credit. And again, that's going to be 15% of your score, or 82.5 points. We can't open up too many new accounts at once, We can't get rid of our oldest accounts. Both of those things will cause us to disrupt our average age of credit, which will make us lose that 15% or 82.5 points. Next, we're going to have account mix. You need to have different types of credit. You need to have installment accounts. You need to have revolving accounts. So installment accounts have a beginning and end date. That's your mortgages, your auto loans, your student loans, your personal loans. Revolving accounts are your credit cards. So you need to have both types of credit to show that you can handle both types of credit. And that's 10% of your score or 55 points. And the last 10% of your score or 55 points is going to be new credit or inquiries. Anytime you check your own credit, it is not a hard inquiry. You should check your credit as much as possible. You should make sure that everything's 100% accurate and verifiable in your report, which often it will not be 100% accurate or verifiable. So you're going to use one of any sources to check your credit to make sure that it's accurate. If you check your own credit, it is not a hard inquiry. You can and should check your credit as much as possible. If you apply for something, it is going to be a hard inquiry. Now, inquiries are only 10% of your score, or only 55 points, but it has a big impact. Too many inquiries can cause you to get rejected. If you have over 3 inquiries in 6 months, that can cause you to get rejected. If you have over 5 inquiries in 2 years, that can cause you to get rejected. So it's not just the points and the score, it's the impact on your credit profile. Your credit profile is way more important than your numerical score. There are so many variations of scores. There are 4 Vantage scoring models. There are up to 10 or more FICO scoring models with industry-specific FICO scoring models. So if you focused on your score, you would be lost. It's kind of like trying to figure out Instagram's algorithm, right? It's really hard to do that. But you can focus on your profile, which everybody's going to be judging on. And when you have the right profile, when you pay on time every time, over 97% of the time, you'll get that 192.5 points. When you use under 30% of your available limit, you'll get those 165 points. When you have average age over 4 to 5 years, you'll get those 82.5 points. When you have account mix, when you have installment accounts and revolving accounts, you'll get those 55 points. And when you keep your inquiries very little, under 3 into 6 months and under 5 and 2 years, you'll get those 55 points. Now, checking your credit, you can use many sources. You can use annualcreditreport.com to get your reports. That's not going to give you your scores. It's also not efficient because it's 3 different reports and 3 different proprietary formats. I recommend using what's called a 3B report, a 3 bureau report. Different providers will give you a 3 bureau report. My Free Score Now will give you a 3 bureau report with a credit monitoring service. Smart Credit, Privacy Guard, Identity IQ, My Score IQ, all these providers will give you a 3B report. If you get your 3B report, we can give you a thorough credit analysis for free when you go to FINLITsignup.com, and we can help you understand your credit and exactly what your rights are. So again, 15% of your score, 35% of your score is payment history or 192.5 points. 30% of your score is utilization, which is going to be 165 points. 15% of your score is average age, which is going to be 82.5 points. 10% is going to be your account mix, which is 55 points. And 10% is going to be your inquiries, which is also going to be 55 points. So if you have those proper habits, you're going to have the right profile and score. So now we're going to show you how you get rid of any negative items. Let's say you did have late payments. You shouldn't. To avoid having late payments, you're either going to make a payment arrangement. You're going to say, hey, I can only afford to pay $50 a month. They might say, I need you to pay $100 a month, and you meet somewhere in the middle. That's not considered late. Or pausing your payments is called deferment technically. You're just going to pause your payments for some time. That's also not considered late, or not be 30 days late. So those are the habits you need to have. If you, again, like I mentioned, go to FINLITsignup.com, we can give you a thorough credit audit that's customized to your situation. Again, that's FINLITsignup.com. You're going to get a free credit analysis, and you can take the simple steps for us to do this on your behalf at FINLITsignup.com. And we have over 44 5-star reviews on Google. So you guys can also check that out if you have any questions about us doing it on your behalf. But now we're going to talk about how we address your credit, right? Again, those are the categories of credit that you saw. 192.5 points for paying on time, 165 points for not using a high amount of your utilization, 82.5 points for having an average age over 4 to 5 years, 55 points for having different account mix and different types of credit, and 55 points for having very few inquiries. Now, how do we address negative items if you happen to have a student loan, a late payment, a collection, a charge-off, a eviction, an inquiry, a repossession? How do we get rid of those negative items? You have consumer laws that have existed since the 70s. You have the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You have the Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act. You have the Fair Credit Billing Act. And you have the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. If you do the acronyms, you can just Google them and those laws will pop up and you'll see exactly what rights you have. It's FCRA, FDCPA, FACTA, and FCBA. All of those are the consumer laws, the main consumer laws that you have as a consumer. Everything in your report has to be 100% accurate, 100% verifiable, 100% timely to be on your report. Again, when we give you that free credit audit at FINLITsignup.com, you're going to get an audit that looks a little bit like this. We're going to show you all three of your reports and scores. We're going to show you exactly what negative items you have on there, whether it's a late payment, a collection, a charge-off, inquiry, a repossession, essentially your credit profile. We're actually going to show you how many points each category is worth, just like I just described, and what we need to do to alter each category to have what we need to have, and how we can get you to have those 550 points between a 300 and 850. So again, that's FINLITsignup.com for you to get your free analysis. We're going to highlight and color code all the things that are inconsistent, that are not accurate or verifiable for you. When we highlight those inconsistencies, we're going to be able to see, even if you really had this collection or charge off a late payment, how this is not accurate on your report. So for instance, with this report here that we see that the credit limit is allegedly zero. That's very highly unlikely that your credit limit is zero, right? It can be 450 and zero at the same time, or you'll see that your high balance is zero here, where the other bureaus say it's 727. If something's the right answer, everybody should say 2 + 2 = 4. No one should say it's 97. No one should say it's 28, right? But Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion are all saying different things. So the date of last activity is not accurate. The date open is not accurate. The balance owed is not accurate. An account can't be open and closed at the same time. There's so many discrepancies that we will highlight and color code for you to show you what's not accurate. Now, this is a repossession that we see on the screen right here, and it also is not consistent. One bureau is saying the high balance is 14,000. The other bureau is saying it's 1,800, right? You can't have different high balances. The date of last activity can't be last in February of 2020, but then be in October of 2019, or be of May of 2020, right? The date open, they didn't open this account, even though they really allegedly had this repossession. They didn't open this account on September 1st and then open the very same account on September 19th. That's impossible to have happen. So we can use the consumer laws to remove those negative items. We also use something called CDIA reporting standards, which is also known as Metro 2 compliance. And with that, we can also dispute from that, right? Everything has to be coded a very specific way. And for every aspect that is not 100% accurate or verifiable or Metro 2 compliant, we're actually going to use, we're going to make specific dispute letters based on that, and do that on your behalf in a transparent fashion. So you have a portal to see what we're doing. You're going to have an app to see what we're doing. You'll get emails every day so you know what to expect from the process. And every 45 days, we send you a video, we send you a text, we send you a voicemail so you know what you're doing in the process. You can always schedule follow-up calls as well with us when you're a client at support.finlitforum.com. And our phone teams are available Monday through Friday from 12 to 7 p.m. So next, here is how we're going to, if you scan that QR code, you can get access to it. You can go to FINLITsignup.com. Again, that's FINLITsignup.com. FINLITsignup.com, and we'll give you your personalized credit audit, and you actually can simply get all the steps to fix your credit. So these are some of the reviews that we've had. I'm going to skip a little bit over that. Just know that we've had over 55 5-star reviews on Google. You can go to reports.finlitforum.com to get the 3B report that I referenced that will show you what's not accurate and verifiable and will help us compare. We also will get the API data and the source code from the reports so we can see what the bureaus have responded, and we can keep escalating like clockwork every 45 days until we get your negative items off. So we've had over 9,600 deletions so far this year, fortunately. So I'm really appreciative of all our clients. You guys can go to group.finlitforum.com. We share our wins. We share a lot of free resources there. So again, go to group.finlitforum.com to see some of the 9,600 deletions that we had this year. But I'm not concerned with the people that we helped before. I'm trying to help everybody here, everybody that's going to be watching this. So I want you to have your very own situation. Again, these things are not accurate or verifiable. Over 85% of reports are inaccurate. And I've been doing this since 2014, formally since 2016. And I've never, ever seen an accurate report, ever. Right. And it's your right. It's your federal right for your reports to be accurate. A account cannot be a collection and be open at the same time. It can't be open and closed at the same time. It can't be late and be a collection at the same time. Collections are charge-offs that get charged off after 180 days, which is 6 months. So you can't be 4 months late, but also be a charge-off that happens after 6 months. So you'll see curated things just like that. Here is somebody else's inaccurate item. Allegedly, in July, they're on time. Allegedly, in August, they're 30 days late. And then in September, they go from being 30 days late to being 90 days late in 1 month period of time, which is very impossible to happen. So we will be showing you things like that that are not consistent, accurate, or verifiable, and how we can get rid of those negative items. So what you're going to do, you guys can go to finlitsignup.com. Again, that's finlitsignup.com. Once you do that, you guys can get a free audit. If you guys decide that credit repair is something that you need, again, we do it transparently with a portal and app. We give you emails every day. We keep you in the loop. You can either, after you enroll, pay $111 a month, or you can do pay-per-delete billing where you only get invoiced after negative items are successfully removed. You, again, will have a portal and app. You guys can go to finlitsignup.com, and it'll give you 5 simple steps to addressing your credit. So next, we're going to talk about how do we do this stuff. You're not going to dispute online. If you dispute online, you're going to waive your rights to what's called arbitration. So in the terms and conditions, you have to live with what they determine. And often they will say these things are accurate where we can see clear as day that they're not. And they're using something called eOscar that's not really examining your disputes. And it's going to just assign a numerical code, maybe 1 through 16, and say, hey, you're disputing for this reason. You're saying it's not mine, or this, that, and the third. We want to use our rights, our federal, congressional rights, to remove your negative items. So you are not going to dispute in writing. Now, some of you guys might not have ordered your 3 bureau report. Some of you guys might say, hey, I have great credit. I don't need credit repair. If you don't need credit repair, it's time to leverage credit, right? And you can get a free snapshot at fundfirst.com/snapshot, and it'll show you how much you're eligible for, up to $750,000 in funding to grow your business, or to invest, or to buy somebody else's business, just to make money work for you and be able to leverage, right? There are over 15 types of funding. There's asset-based lending, there's equipment-based lending, there's revenue-based lending. You never want to use your own money. You want to use other people's money. The banks always do that. Wealthy people do that. Billionaires do that. No one uses their own money to do any thing that we do in our adult life. Leverage is a very powerful force. So if you go to fundfirst.com/snapshot, it'll show you how much you're eligible for. It is a soft pull. There's no credit card required. There's no hard pull, anything like that. You're going to get your free funding estimate when you go to fundfirst.com/snapshot. Some people don't have the enrollment amount right away to get started with credit repair, which is a $444 enrollment. We partner with a lender that's going to give you the ability to have a no credit check financing. You guys can go to preapproved.finlitforum.com. Again, that's preapproved.finlitforum.com. They will give you no credit check financing. As long as you have employment, you will get approved for it's called credit. You'll go to preapproved.finlitforum.com, and they break it down to manageable installments for you at preapproved.finlitforum.com. So cost should never be an issue. It can definitely be broken down into manageable payments. More importantly, for the next 10 people, we've had a few people sign up earlier today. I know the enrollment is typically $444. For the people that are really, really motivated and they're cost conscious and they don't have the money to get started, if you go to If you go to firstround.finlitforum.com, again, that's firstround.finlitforum.com or limited.finlitforum.com. The next 10 people that sign up will get a 90% discount from our enrollment, and it's a $44 enrollment. So I don't want money to be a reason why you're not getting started on credit. The bureaus have 45 days to respond every time. So it's a long, lengthy time, and they take about 2 to 5 rounds of persistence to get negative items off of your credit. So you need to start today, whether you're doing it with me, whether you're doing it on your own, whether you're doing it with another company, you need to start your credit journey. So I don't want money to be a reason why people are not getting started. So we have a 90% off for the next 10 people when you go to limited.finlitforum.com. It'll be 90% off our first round of credit repair, and then you can just continue for the 100 a month or our pay per delete option. So now that we talked about credit, personal credit, we're going to talk about business credit. How do you utilize and get business credit? So I want you guys to go to fundfirst.com. Again, that's fundfirst.com, and you're going to get access to this resource, which I will help you understand. This resource at fundfirst.com is going to give you videos for every single step. It's going to give you direct links for every single step. It's going to give you the underwriting guidelines that the lenders care about. And it's going to give you the lender compliance so you can step to the table presentable for a lender to say yes. 85% of businesses do not get money from the banks as per the SBA. That's 85% of businesses, over 8 out of 10 businesses and people hear the word no from the bank. On the personal side, they have to tell you why they're rejecting you. On the business side, they do not have to tell you why they're rejecting you, because consumer laws do not exist on the business side, right? Or as much consumer laws and regulations don't exist on the business side. So I don't want you guys to hear no and not know why you're not getting money from the bank. And banks know that 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Banks know that most businesses are not profitable for the first 5 years. They're not in the business of gambling. They're in the business of leveraging money, and they have to pay their shareholders and everything like that. So they want to take a low risk. And they know that if your I's are not dotted, the likelihood that you will default will be high. So I want you to go to the bank knowing exactly what they're looking for to help approve you, right? So my resource will help you do everything you need to do. You don't have to guess. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to peruse YouTube for, 10 months. You can go right to the source and you can start your entity with multiple providers and direct links. So we'll take you to InkFile, better known as Busy, CorpNet, Biz Filings, or we'll take you directly to the Secretary of State website to go start your entity. We'll take you to the TESS database to make sure that you're not violating someone else's intellectual property when it comes to setting up your entity. We'll make sure you're not using a high-risk business name. We'll make sure you're not using SIC codes, standard industrial classification codes, that are associated with high-risk businesses that will make you get rejected. We're going to make sure that you're dotting all these I's, and you're going to have a checklist for every step. You're going to have a direct link for every step and a video for every single step. We'll make it very easy to understand. We help you make sure that you don't have a address that's a home address, because that's a safety issue. That's an asset protection issue. That's a liability issue. We want you to do all these things the right way. So we directly guide you through to everything. Again, there's a video for every step. There's direct links to every step. And there's checklists for every single step. We also make sure that you have a appropriate bank rating. You have to have cash reserves in a business bank account. Your business is considered to be open the day that you start your business bank account. So they want you to have certain cash reserves to show that you're solvent, to show that you are not going to default, right? If you're trying to borrow $800,000, they don't want to see that you had $40 in your business bank account or $70 in your business bank account. They want to see you have a pretty sufficient bank balance in your business bank account. So we're going to help you understand all these things and why they're relevant. Once we have the lender compliance in order, we're going to go for the money, right? And we're going to go through the money wisely to where you won't get rejected. If you shoot your shot all over the place, the bank is going to say no. So we know the underwriting guidelines that they're looking for. So if you're going to Fifth Third Bank, for instance, we know that they're giving you 0% interest for 15 months with no annual fee. We know the average amount they're giving you is $10,000. We know the highest amount they're giving you is $20,000. We know which bureau they're pulling from. We know they're pulling from TransUnion. We know the direct link to go apply for it. If you don't get approved, we have the reconsideration number to call if you don't get approved, right? So we're going to know all this stuff. So we're getting up to $20,000 at 0% interest for a year and 3 months with no annual fee. Now you take that money and you do whatever asset that you want. Maybe it's short-term rentals and Airbnbs. Maybe you're wholesaling. Maybe you're buying commercial property. Maybe you're starting a laundromat. Maybe you're buying ATMs. Maybe you're drop shipping. Maybe you're growing your business, paying payroll. Any of these things, you're going to use the bank's money to make money at 0% interest. That'd be like asking me to lend you $20,000 for a year and not charging you to do so. Use the bank's money to grow and scale and pay it back on time and have it build out your business credit profile. So that was one bureau pulling from only TransUnion, giving us up to 20,000. Then we go to another bank, Bank of America, that's going to give us 0% interest for 9 months, no annual fee, anywhere between 10,000 on average and 35,000 is the highest amount, right? We're going to know what bureaus they're pulling from. They're pulling from Experian. There, we know the exact link to go apply for it. We know the reconsideration number there too if we don't get approved, or if we don't get approved for how much we want to get approved for. So then we're going to go to another bank. So the first bank was TransUnion, up to 20,000. The second bank was Experian, up to 35,000. And the last bank is going to be Alliant. That's going to give us 0% interest for 12 months, no annual fee. The average amount they're giving us is 25,000. The top amount they're giving us is 50,000, right? Pulling from Equifax. And if we don't get approved, we know the reconsideration number. So you're always getting guidance exactly on how to grow and scale your business, and grow and scale your investments without using your own money. You want to use the bank's money, and we have the underwriting guidelines for it. So again, I mentioned to you guys, the first 10 people that get started today, discount that enrollment 90% from $444 to $44. That's firstround.finlitforum.com or limited.finlitforum.com. We also have our business credit system that guides you through all those steps and gives you a checklist for every step, gives you direct links for every step, gives you videos and context for every single step. We have access to over 200 lenders, 244 credit cards, and 3,000 vendors that report to business credit bureaus. So it's not just Uline, Granger, and Quill. You'll get those products and services now. You'll grow and scale with it and then pay it back on time within 30 days and build out your business credit profile. And that system typically is $1,111 for virtual coaching. Of course, we have payment plans as little as $57 a month with Klarna, or as little as $96 a month with Afterpay, or we have that interest-free. We have that credit, that no credit check option called Credit. When you guys go to preapproved.finlitforum.com. So money should not be a reason that you don't have the resources that you need to grow and scale your personal credit profile and your business credit profile. We have payment plans for whatever that you guys need to do. Now, we really appreciate our clients. So any clients of ours that are credit repair clients or business credit clients get a 4 to 7 day international resort stay for two to a destination of their choosing. It can be Bali, Greece, Thailand, Fiji, Rome, Paris. Any of those destinations, you'll have a 4 to 7 day resort stay for two. When you guys go to prize.finlitforum.com, any client of ours will get that 4 to 7 day resort stay for two adults and up to 2 children. You'll have 18 months to travel to one of those destinations as long as it's at least 1 month in advance. But we're not here about the fun. We're here about, getting you that money to get where you're going, right? So these are some of the resort stays for two that you'll see. We see Santorini there. We see Fiji there. Things like that. But we're going to get back to business and getting you guys money for your business. And why are we trying to get business credit versus getting personal credit? So the reason why we're building business credit is to not have limitations. Again, when I told you guys in the beginning, if you have personal credit, you can only use 30% of your personal credit without harming yourself, right? When you get a business credit card, you can use 100% of it and it will benefit you. All the things that you buy anyway will start to give you rewards and perks and access, right? So you're going to lose that limitation when you get over to the business side. You also won't be impacting your debt to income ratio, right? So let's say we make $100,000 and we have a $40,000 student loan and we have $30,000 for a vehicle, right? Our debt to income ratio is too high. We have too many debts assigned to our personal side. So when we go to buy a home, now our debt to income ratio is over 45% and the mortgage lender will say no. If we got that vehicle in our business name instead of our personal name, now we're not altering our debt to income ratio. So we want to lower our utilization and we want to lower our debt to income ratio. You also will have peace of mind. So different credit cards will have purchase protection and fraud prevention. And again, different perks, concierge services, things like that, access. So when I go to Brooklyn Nets games, I go right through the clear entrance. I don't have to wait in line. When I do, I also can go to the Amex entrance or anything like that. So you'll get lots of experiences. Now you can pay payroll with the business credit card, and you can be on your business's payroll, right? So you're going to use a payroll processor called ADP. They have an integration called Plastique, and you can use that $50,000 business credit card that I showed you to now pay your contractors or your staff to grow and scale and not use your own time and energy and resources, and hire smart, right? To take care of expenses. All these things are things that you will be using business credit for. Certain cards will give you access to global entry or TSA PreCheck or clear complimentary. When you get clear, you'll have something called Avis Preferred, where you can skip the line when you go to get your car rental. You just go right to the garage and get your car, and it's 25% off, things like that. So again, we're going to help you guys get access to business credit and understand it. The very first step you're going to do is go to fundfirst.com/snapshot. Again, that's fundfirst.com/snapshot. You're going to get a free funding estimate and you see exactly what the lender is looking at, see where you are assessed in the risk category, whether they are likely to lend to you or not. And then we adjust your personal profile and your business credit profile so you can then get funded. Again, this is a soft pull. No credit card is required or anything like that. You'll know exactly where you stand. And if we need to adjust something, we can do that. So that's fundfirst.com/snapshot. So I'm going to help you guys out. Again, personal credit enrollments is $44 for the first 10 people that signed up. It's going to be 90% discount. It's going to be $44 to enroll. Virtual coaching is $1,111. That can be broken down into payment plans as little as $57 a month or $96 a month. And then we have concierge coaching for the people that want hands-on guidance. They don't just want to see the virtual system. They want us to coach them one-on-one every week. For 52 weeks. That's concierge coaching, or we have group coaching where you get coaching in a group once a month. So again, we have multiple payment options between Afterpay and Klarna, and then we have that interest-free payment option that I mentioned to you that will allow you to, without a credit check or anything like that, as long as you have employment, they're going to finance you at preapproved.finlitforum.com. So hopefully money is not an issue. Again, we've had over 44 5-star reviews on Google. I hope that you guys are our next case study. We've had over 9,600 deletions this year, and we share all that information in our private community. You guys can go to group.finlitforum.com and access our resources. So again, as mentioned before, when you guys go to firstround.finlitforum.com, there's a 90% discount today. You guys don't have to pay $444 to enroll. You guys can get started now. We're transparent. You will have a portal to track what you're doing. You'll have an app. Every 45 days, we send you an email, a progress report, a voicemail, a video. We help you understand exactly where you are, and we dispute on your behalf using consumer laws and using Metro 2 compliance to get rid of your negative items at firstround.finlitforum.com. So again, that first round will be $44 at a 90% discount if you're one of those first 10 people. Otherwise, it goes back to the $444. The group coaching, the business credit coaching, which is going to include personal credit and waive the entire cost of personal credit. And both will get done at the same time. That's the $1,111, which has again, payment options that are going to be as little as $57 a month or $97 a month with Klarna or Afterpay. So I do want to answer questions that people have. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will answer those questions for you. I really appreciate you guys. Again, there's some destinations we have like Paris, Rome, Bali, Cartagena, Singapore. Those are the places that you will be able to go with that. So again, you're going to go to finlitsignup.com. It's very easy steps to enroll and get your free credit audit. Even if you don't decide to enroll now, you'll understand exactly where your score is at. finlitsignup.com. Again, that's finlitsignup.com. So I'm going to answer a few questions for you guys.